Good evening, class. Today's speech will be on equipment used by a military working dog. Now you're probably wondering, why did I choose that topic? I chose that topic because all the time I get asked what's the name of my equipment, how to use my equipment, and how can I tell if my equipment is unserviceable. Picture yourself at a military working dog demonstration. You notice that a military working dog has some cool items on his or her person or vest. You say to yourself, how can I get some of them cool items? Well, you're in good luck. I'm going to tell you the name of the items that I use. I'm going to talk to you about how to use the items. And I'm going to talk about how can you tell if it's serviceable or unserviceable. Let's talk about the items or equipment that I use. Give you some names. First off, we have the 6-foot leather leash. That's a 6-foot leather leash. Second piece of equipment I use is the leather collar. Third piece of equipment I use is the choke chain. Fourth piece of equipment I use is the combat harness. Fifth piece of equipment that I use is the retractable. Now, since I gave you the name of the equipment I use, let's talk about how to use the equipment. For those of you all who don't know how to use the equipment that I have, you can always go to signaturecanine.com. It's a great website. It shows you how to use the equipment, so you won't hurt your dog. 'Cause a lot of people they mess up on stuff like that. And also, I mean, you could purchase the equipment too. So that's a good website to go to. If you are confused, go to that website. It'll help you out. Now, utilization of equipment. Let's start with the 6-foot leather leash. Self-explanatory. This is called the 6-foot leather leash or lead. The reason they call it the lead because the dog is leading you. But make it simple, you can call it the leash. And bam, click it on your dog, take your dog for a walk. Very simple. We have the leather leash. The leather collar. We have the leather collar. And self-explanatory, you put this around your dog's neck. And the reason I chose the collar with the handle because I have an aggressive dog. And she's the type of dog that she's just so wild. And if I'm doing a decoy or are we doing a demonstration, when the decoy runs from me, I have to challenge the decoy, how hard do I release my dog? And instead of me clipping my leash on to the D-ring, I'll just hold on to this and I got more control over her. So if she's moving around, I can control her. And then when it's time for me to release my dog, let my hand go, bam, my dog run free and go get the decoy. Now we have a choke chain. Now calm down, okay? Calm down. We do not choke our dogs out. The choke chain is basically, it's a collar. Sometimes if I don't want to take my leather leash with me, my leather collar, I use a choke chain. And this is how you put the choke chain on your dog. Put this in a ring, like that, make a loop. Pretend it's the dog's head. You slide this on the dog. And bam, it's like this. Just keep in mind that you want to have the upper lead or the link going up, touching the top part. Keep this on the right side, Also, we use this for to discipline our dogs. Let's say if I give my dog a command like sit or stay or lie down, well, if she don't, quick tug of this, correction, no, bam, let her know that she didn't do what I told her to do. So, but also, when you deal with the choke chain, it's very dangerous because if you put the choke chain on wrong, you can kill your dog. Let me demonstrate. If you put your choke chain upside down, this is a dog head, slide this upside down, and as you can tell, if you move it, bam, it locks in place. You see that? Get a good look at it. It locks in place. Right there, you're choking your dog. We don't do this, and this is the wrong way to put the choke chain on your dog because you can kill your dog. You can choke your dog out. So just keep that in mind. Do not put this on backwards because you can kill your dog because this do not hang down. As you can tell, I'm holding this up. It just locks in place. And if you walk in, bam, it gets tighter. So make sure you put this on right so you won't kill your dog. Slide this in. Bam. Simple, right? Very simple. Control your dog. Control your dog. That's how you put the choke chain on. Now, let's go to the combat harness. If you don't know, I did 2 tours in Iraq, and this harness is a lifesaver because this harness let a dog be a dog. You put the dog in the harness, it goes in like this, just a dog head, goes in like this, sets up, and you tighten this up for your dog on the side, the Velcro right here. Tighten it up. And you hook either your 6-foot leash, your 15-foot 360 or retractable here, and you let the dog be a dog. The dog can run free, you know, do anything, you know, she want to do. When I was in Iraq, this was so much easier because I was the point man, and my job was to, you know, make sure that the trail that we're on or the path that we're on, make sure there's no IDs, you know, on that path. So, you know, I got my dog, she's running crazy, you know, trying to find IDs and stuff. Luckily, we didn't find them, so that's a good thing. Also, part of my equipment is the retractable. Oh, this is a lifesaver too, because you put your retractable on your harness like this, bam, and the dog can run freely, and you hook this up to your D-ring that's hooked to your belt, and when you walking, you got your weapon like this, and you got the D-ring down here so the dog can move back and forth, left and right. You don't have to, you know, control your dog. Your dog got so much movement because there's something out there, your dog going to pick up on it. So that's why I love these 2 items. These, I recommend this to anybody. And also we use these 2 items for if we're doing detection work, you know, I use these items too. They're great. Now, since I explained to you and even showed you how to utilize the equipment that I have, let's talk about if the equipment is unserviceable. Now, if you get confused on if equipment is unserviceable or not, you can always, you know, go to the Air Force website and you go to the 37 TRW, that's Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, and they explain to you what to look for if the equipment is unserviceable. Now, for the unserviceable equipment, let me get my trusted 6-foot leash right here. I'm gonna start from the top and work my way down to the bottom. This is what I look for if my leash is unserviceable. The loop right here. Make sure that it's not broken and nothing like that. You know, make sure it's nice and sturdy. I come down, you see the rivets right here. Make sure the rivets are do not come apart. Make sure they're together. I come down. Now for your leather, I'm looking for, make sure there's no frays or no cuts. You know, make sure it's not old. If your leather get old, you could purchase leather soap, and it's great. You put leather soap on and work your leash, give that good flexibility. Okay, I keep going down. You got rivets close to the bottom right here. You see the rivets. Make sure they are put in place. Make sure they're not moving. Also, I look for my little circle ring right here. Make sure that it's not broken none. And my clasp here. Make sure it's serviceable, because if this ain't serviceable, you need a new leash. So keep that in mind. My next item is the leather collar. And for this, I'll make sure that the handle is not broken. Make sure it's nice and sturdy, you know, because you don't want this broken. Because let's say if your dog is aggressive like my dog, and if this is broken, she's going to break loose and bite somebody. We don't want that. We don't want no accidental bites. I'm also going to look for my D-ring right here. Make sure it's moved back and forth. Make sure it's serviceable, nice and sturdy. And also the little belt loop right here. Make sure that it's sturdy. Make sure it don't come apart. That's enough for the leather collar. For my choke chain, is real easy. I'm looking for rust on the links. I'm looking for, make sure that the links aren't broken. Make sure they are together. And also my loops. Make sure my loops are welded together. That's what you look for in the choke chain. Now, for the combat harness, make sure that the ring right here is not broken. Make sure that the Velcro work. So you can tighten up for the dog. Make sure that the Velcro right here is not frayed. Make sure that this is not broken. And that's what you look for in a combat harness. Now for the retractable, make sure that the retractable move freely like this. Make sure that the retractable is able to lock in place. Make sure that the handle is not broken. And make sure that your clasp is not broken. That's how you tell from the retractable. In conclusion, knowing your equipment and how your equipment, knowing your equipment and how to use your equipment is very important. And keep this in mind. And I stress, before you put your equipment on your military working dog or any other dog, make sure that it's serviceable. Make sure that it's operational, because you do not want an accident to happen. Because if you got a dog like mine, I'm paranoid. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very paranoid, and I make sure that all my equipment works, because when I put it around my dog, I'm gonna make sure that it does not break. This concludes my speech. Thank you.